Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today I'm going to be discussing about my postpartum depression and how I managed it and how everything happens before that I figured out that I had postpartum depression. So let's get on to the video. For starters, I didn't know I had postpartum depression. Well, I declared I didn't have, postpartum depression. But my husband noticed it when I had my daughter Leanna. I didn't have it with my son Hayden, since he was born early and there was a lot going on with him and too busy, dealing with him, so I didn't really have the chance to have it. But with Leanna, I did have it, but I didn't notice it. I was just denying it every single time. My behaviors had changed. I wasn't really being myself. Through those times, I wasn't really that happy, and I would get mad very easy. And my patience was very low, so anything could tick me off, like my kids, or anything could tick me off, like my husband. A lot of times I would be violent, or start throwing things at the wall, not to my children, not to anybody, just me in an empty room, just start throwing things, being violent, and just my actions were so not controlled at all. And so he noticed, and he's I think you have postpartum depression, and I think you need to see someone. I'm like, I don't have postpartum, I don't have this, I don't need that, I don't need to seek anyone. And so, our marriage kind of struggled, with me dealing with all of that. And so I kept going, and then when I was pregnant with Holden, it kind of died down a little bit, but not as much. But then after I had Holden, I myself started noticing that I had it, postpartum depression. When I had Holden, I was very down and just wanted to cry. I was very sensitive. Of course, my hormones were going crazy, after giving birth, but I was just not acting myself. Before I had Holden and before I got pregnant, I'd done a lot of things that I should have never done, that kind of triggered my depression. And I did want to commit suicide at one point in my life, because I felt why am I here? I'm going through this struggle in my life, and not me thinking about my husband or my kids, just me only. Why am I here? I'm struggling with this, but why am I here? I just want to end my life. I had a lot of thoughts about it, and I just kept saying why am I here, and why am I here, and on and on and on. And but I pushed past that, and that kind of went to my breaking point, but I didn't really declare it's my depression at that timing. And then when I became pregnant with Holden, things kind of died down a little bit. Didn't have that thoughts in that time frame. And then when I had Holden, it didn't sink in until like a couple weeks after I had him. I started feeling sad, not feeling myself. I felt like I was living in a bubble. I was tired of like the lifestyle situation that we were in, and like I was having the suicide thoughts again, to where like, why am I still here? Like, do I even have a purpose? Because I'm still struggling. I'm still, not even thinking about my kids, not even thinking about my husband or my family or whatever, but just me in general. It's like everything is like going downhill for me, and like I'm just like struggling. And obviously like my family, they never really noticed it. I mean, like probably like my mom, like after I had my son, like I was like crying and be like, why am I still here? I'm just a mistake, I'm just not as important, and all that negative thoughts in my head. So I didn't start realizing it maybe a month in, or a couple months. I'm not really sure. I don't really remember. And I told my husband, I think you're right. I do have postpartum depression. And so with my 6-week postpartum, of course, they do that test for after giving birth and all that stuff, and the test was on the borderline of postpartum depression the first time around. Then I had another follow-up, and it got even worse. And I was just, my actions were just like yelling, throwing stuff, just being all crazy and not being my normal self. And so, I finally had the guts to reach out for a doctor to be able to help me through this. And so the second time around, they tested me and they said that I do have postpartum depression because it gotten worse, and they issued me medication for it, for my depression. And ever since I have been taking it, I haven't felt that way. I haven't had suicidal thoughts. I've been myself and more happy and having a lot of patience for my kids. Now, when I stop taking them, like if I miss a couple of days, like it starts back up again. It's just horrible, and I'm just like, if I don't even take it, so a lot of times I'll notice that I'm not patient with my kids, and I'll start yelling, and that's just not me. So if anyone out there is struggling with depression or having suicidal thoughts, please seek help. Those people are there to help, like doctors or at least someone that you really trust. They could help you, and you're not alone. You're worth being here. Everyone has a purpose in life on this earth for a reason, and please ask for help. Don't be embarrassed, don't be ashamed. I'm not ashamed that I went through that, and because it's like a story to tell that I've conquered that, and this is what I need so I'm not like that anymore, and so I could be my normal self, to be my normal self. So, but please, anyone that's out there, I know it's very hard to say something or step up, because believe me, you know, it was very hard for me to, you know, to say that I have postpartum depression. You know, I was ashamed at one point to be like, no, I don't need it. No, I don't have that. You know, that can't be me. But in reality, that is. That's what's going on. I have that, and I just have to deal with it. I mean, it's just, you know, the way it is. And, you know, and I'm glad that I have this medication for that. And, you know, my doctor's like, you know, some people can last this medication for 6 months. You know, for me, I feel like I need it, you know, I don't know how long, but I feel like I need it at this time, even though it's been past 6 months. And she's like, well, you can, you know, decrease your amount. I think that's how you put it, decrease your amount of your dose. But in my gut, I know I'm just gonna keep going on the same amounts and just continue taking it because it's been working great. So yeah, that is my story. But again, please, please, please seek help. It's worth it at the end. You know, it is very worth it. Your families are there to support. Even if you don't have a family, or at least somebody that really cares about you. Sometimes you think that nobody cares about you. There's nobody on this earth that cares. I'm sure there's at least one person that cares about you. In my faith, I'm not sure about anybody else's faith, but in my personal faith, God is in control. He put you on this earth for a reason. And so pray if you have that same faith as me. Pray about it, and just seek help, because somebody is really there to help you. So yeah, that is my story, and I'm glad that I'm sharing this with everyone, because a lot of people in my family and friends, or even on my social media, doesn't really know that I went through this, because I don't really talk about it. But I'm here to talk about it now, and because I'm not ashamed at all. It's just part of me, part of my past. So, but please, if you want to reach out to me and you want to talk, I'm here to listen. You know, if you have any questions, you can just comment down below, and also to subscribe to my channel if you want more videos of me. Also, if you want to, if you have any ideas of what I should talk about on my videos, or what should I do, comment down below and I'll message you back. So yeah, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!